All the disrespect, the free play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day of checking these buttons. Thank you for tuning in one more time. It is Wednesday, y'all. We got some hot-ass buttons to check. Chapters down below if you want to skip around. Sub button right there. This is a topic that I briefly mentioned yesterday. I had no idea how much it was going to blow up on social media just within the last 24 hours alone. Everybody is discussing this to the point where some are getting a little extreme, but either way, you be the judge. Let's unpack these buttons. Let's go. All right, now we're to them first set of no more motion inputs is seeming to be the new norm, and the FGC is seeming to be pissed. Buttons that need to be checked. So we briefly talked about this yesterday because we were mentioning Incredible Versus, what the hell am I talking about? Invincible Versus, the new game coming out, mentioned that they were not gonna have motion inputs, that your specials were just gonna be a button. They're trying to make it easier for newcomers to come in. Obviously, you heard the song and dance before, but a lot of the players playing it, like your Justin Wongs, your Yipes, other tag players, or notable tag players, are saying that they're still going in the right direction and they really enjoy the gameplay. So remains to be seen. But with that being said, a lot of other games being announced seem to be taking the same direction, notably 2XKO, and obviously more to come. But the FGC is asking the question in the meantime, are we actually gonna sit back and let this happen, or is it even that big of a deal? Let's unpack. Starting right here with Damascus, he says, very honest question, do we as fighting game fans have to accept that special moves are just gonna be one button now? I'm not even arguing about the pros and the cons, I just like doing motion inputs. It feels cool to me. Hitting that 623 DP feels great, that's all, I just like it. Okay, I do notice some of his other responses, people kind of weigh in, but he just keeps it to like, yo, there's other perspectives, but I just wanna come forward and just say simply, I like it because I like the way it feels. The fucking dopamine that releases when you hit it just right can't be replaced by just pressing one button. And I gotta say, like right off the bat, I know what he feels because I remember, for me, the one that sticks out the most, because the one that I feel like I fucking earned to death was back in, I wanna say it was Ultra Street Fighter. What was it? Ultra Street Fighter 4, it was Guile's Ultra 2, I think, the Sonic Hurricane. That shit, when you learned it in combo, and then you would FADC out to do the Sonic Hurricane, that was one of the hardest ones in the game to pull off, and it had like stupid ass, like non-existent damage. So it was like you did all that for nothing. But I remember spending so many weeks upon weeks in the lab, like I need to get this down, because if I could pull it off online in a tournament, especially if you mixed it, what was it, like fucking red focus and all this other stuff, all this stuff came out later, but you know what I'm saying? Like you made it spicy, people looked at you like, oh shit, this guy actually knows what's up.
He has like 80% left. Now let's continue. I should be dead. That was pretty damn good. That was pretty damn good. Here we go, here we go. Get him, I knew he was gonna wake up like a scrub. Kill. Nice lag, you pussy bitch. I like how he put pussy and bitch together, you pussy bitch, like there's different kinds of bitches. I'm a pussy bitch, so nice lag, you pussy bitch. So I sent him back one saying, you're an idiot, but I would make excuses too if I were you because you lost like a bitch. So this is the funniest part. Spick. So right before I say anything, he goes to the race card and now I'm a spick.
Remember them days? Y'all remember them days? Y'all missed them days? Anyway, that to me, there was nothing more satisfying than hitting them inputs just right, pulling that shit off that motion and it coming out. When it didn't come out, you wanted to kill somebody, but when it came out, especially for the win, chef's kiss. Well, anyway, continuing going deeper, I see Alioune right here saying, this goes to show you how you need to be vocal about things like no motion special inputs or it will quickly become the norm for new fighting games and will also kill the genre slowly. Damn, how you feeling about that? So we just talked about, what was it, Invincible Versus coming out. Just yesterday we mentioned that they're not gonna have motion inputs. 2XKO ain't gonna have no motion inputs. So it seems like it's gonna be a thing going forwards because they really want it to grow and they really feel like that's a key answer to this. Now there's a whole nother argument where like, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's deeper than that, but that's another argument. We'll talk about that a little later. Alioune though, he's been very vocal. Now down below, I see where he had some more where he says 3/4 of the announced 2D fighter games have no motion inputs. This looks bad. We have other issues to deal with in games getting worse over time. We don't need this. All right, and then continuing on, who else? I think we got Giuna right here saying BB Tag did not have walk, but it did have motion inputs. And then continuing, I see Xiao right here saying, do this consistently before asking for no motion inputs. Check this out. He puts this on screen. You see some fighters right here. Then he puts this, I guess, complicated ass combo right here. Now they're numbers. I guess he's playing from a keyboard. Down below saying those links are too hard. Motion inputs are fun and reduce the number of buttons needed for games. There's some other dialogue going on where people kind of either agree with that or just give their take on motion inputs. But like I said, we're just giving you a piece of the pie right here. So going even deeper, I see Violet Kane right here saying, I don't mind about the fighting game or fighting games having simple inputs as long as it also gives the option to play with motions. I remember when I tried 2XKO at EVO, I asked the team if there was going to be motion inputs option to the player who liked that, and the answer was, that's not the spirit of the game. Let's repeat that. Like that, and the answer was, that's not the spirit of the game. He follows up right here saying, yeah, man, it was like thanks, but no thanks. And I see Maximilian right here saying, because somebody else says, I need Max to give his take on the no motion input, how people are really losing their minds over some fighting games having simple inputs only. Max actually responds saying, I always want less buttons and to have normal motions as an option. Luckily, the Invincible Versus crew at an early period in the dev heard this and are aware of the demand. Okay, see, I didn't even know that. That's what's up. Continuing on, I see FDX, I guess, responding to that saying, I'm not gonna lie, after playing 2XKO, the beta, I feel like there's too many buttons can still be challenging. Motion specials in Street Fighter 6 give my brain a clear separation between which moves are used and when. 6 buttons plus tags have me hitting the wrong button pretty often as a newcomer to the genre. I see Max responding to that as well, saying, no kidding, when a fighting game is over 6 buttons on the arcade stick, I can actively feel my brain leaving my body, putting the Homer Simpson up right there. And I see others right here posting this. I guess they were kind of breaking it down from what stood out from Invincible Versus. I keep saying Incredible, what the hell? Anyway, first gameplay details, Invincible Versus includes the following: special moves are their own button, like we just discussed, being able to choose which one via direction, combo length is determined by a meter, tagging the other fighter resets part of it, continues on, players reset to neutral upon character defeat, and then somebody actually responds to that. Where's that at? Let me pull that up for you. Right here. They respond to that with this. And it's just how to execute basic fighting game motion inputs. You get it. Quarter circle forward. You see the controller D-pad, the WASD right here for keyboard warriors, half circle forward. Basically saying it's not that hard. It's not rocket science. Like what are we doing? What are we trying to prove? Others respond to that though, saying, does anybody remember the days when they couldn't do these? We undermine our own growth and understanding. How do you think a lot of people respond to that? Most people were like, yeah, when I was 5 or when I was 4. It wasn't that hard. It took me a couple of minutes or an hour or so to learn or get the feel of the game. Yeah, anybody right off the bat. But as far as just a DP or a fireball, it is not rocket science, right? We'll get to that in a second. Others like, imagine trying to explain how to do a simple fighting game input. Look at guys, this shit is so simple, anybody can figure it out. Plink. And then playing fighting games on keyboard definitely is a form of self-harm. Let's see, the problem with Z motion is that in the practice, it doesn't really look like a Z at all. It's more accurate to treat it as you are pressing forward before doing a quarter circle forward. That one has over 230 likes. And this is the one I was talking about where people responded right here saying, yeah, when I was 5 in 1994, or let's see, continuing on, where is that? Yeah, it is impressive to be younger than 10 knowing these things, or yeah, dude, when I was like 4 years old. So that's what I was talking about. Everybody kind of remembered or responded to him saying, you know, we take advantage or we forget where we came from because at one point we didn't know either. But everybody's response, well, for the most part, is saying, yeah, but we were like 5 or we were like 4. I remember when I first came into the scene, I saw it at a Shakey's Pizza in Modesto, California. My friend was using Sim because he knew he was a cheap motherfucker. I can't remember who I first picked, but I know falling in love with Gal pretty quickly. Didn't know shit, as everybody, you mash buttons. And that's why he picked Sim, because he knew if I just mash a button, this motherfucker's arm will go right across the screen and I'll probably beat everybody. But either way, it's deeper than that, I think. Because if it appeals to you, it speaks to you. And it speaks to you, it fucking, I don't know, it's just like a weird part of your DNA and you learn it. It's like anything else that you're passionate about. We'll get to that later. Koostix adds to this right here saying, Dragon Ball FighterZ really had the perfect answer to modern fighting game controls. Wish more current games would follow the model, to be honest. Okay, and there you have it so far. Trust me, it gets a lot deeper, man. But like I was saying, I know the devs, this is where they're going because it's just another barrier that they can remove for newcomers. I personally, let me know, this could seem like dooming or far-fetched, but I really don't think that's the answer. I think the other guy that preached on one of those videos we had a couple of days ago, I think he had it right. I think people that like video games, it's deeper than that. You can make it one button. You can make it fairly easy, but I think it still has to speak to you. It only appeals to a certain type of person, just like a shooter or whatever. You know, like there's certain games out there that I see, and like League of Legends, I'm just like, nah, not for me. I'm just not the dude. Like to all power to you. If you love it, then you love it. That's your thing. But to me, I'm like, I couldn't. No. Now with 2XKO, now they fight and they actually doing something I kind of understand. Okay, now maybe I can get to know it a little bit. Now remains to be seen how it plays, yada, yada, yada. But what I'm saying is certain things speak to certain people. That's the way it's always been. And with fighting games, I don't think it's just as easy as like, let's make it easier. Because on one hand, you piss off everybody else that already fell in love the way it kind of plays. But on the other hand, you're now catering to the casuals. But are the casuals really actually going to appreciate it? They might come and press a button and be like, okay, this is cool. And then just like that, they put the controller down and go back to their RPGs or FPS, fucking Mario Kart, whatever the hell floats their boat. It's over just like that. And then the funny thing is, I thought it was a crazy coincidence because, you know, the more I start talking about 2XKO, I start like getting a little more intrigued, curious about League. And I notice even some of their players are going through the same shit right now because apparently they're about to put the WASD keys in the damn game. I guess they never had them before. And a lot of the players are like, fuck that, the game is not built for that, you're gonna change the game. While others are like, no, it needs to be simpler because it's too confusing. So they're trying to break the barrier. The devs over there are trying to do the same shit to bring more people to the party that our devs are doing over here. And I saw this clip, matter of fact, I saw 2 clips, they're very short, kind of explaining this shit. Check it out.
Here's a quick clip I filmed to demonstrate this. Look at this shit, you mouse pushers. I can move 4 directions whenever I want because I have 4 buttons. Look, right and then left, right and left, down, up, whatever. I can go up and to the right. Meanwhile, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to push, Oh, I need to look here now. Oh, I need to look here now. I gotta push my shit. How can I EQ and do that at the same time? Fuck you. Also, for the people who hold down spacebar the entire time to center camera and release it when needed, first of all, what the fuck? But also, if you're used to that kind of jarring movement, absolutely go ahead, that's totally fine, but I would just generally recommend a smoother process. Okay, to summarize, we have 3 distinct ways of playing. I'm not saying that they're the only ways to play, I'm just making it simple. You can obviously do a combination of things, and I'll link you this timestamp if you're nitpicking so you can shut the fuck up. WASD gives you both camera control as well as cursor placement. Now the only downside is a big one, it's entirely dependent on your skill. So how do you actually get good at this? Well, simple. Make sure your resting posture is on WASD, and whenever you need to use abilities, just move your hand up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Seriously, that's it. Just move your hand back and forth between WASD and 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to do both at the same time, as long as you are constantly pushing your camera to where it needs to be before the action happens.
All right, so we're gonna stop it right there. And then there's one more clip. That guy was hilarious. I didn't even know who he was, but I'll put his information down below. Another one right here. This one was just put out 9 days ago. Check it out.
Let's not forget, League of Legends has always been mouse movement controlled. So everything up until this point has been optimized with that in mind. Your Lee Sin, your Riven, your Akali will still be very much better to play on mouse movement because it was created for mouse movement. I personally do not think using WASD will be optimal for the League of Legends that we play currently. But I do suspect that for the future League of Legends, it might be optimal. With this new set of movement controls, I worry about future champions, future mechanics. Will Riot ever prioritize a set of movement controls for a specific champion? For example, will a champion ever be balanced around the WASD controls specifically. Will the next champion favor that playstyle? That is more so what I worry about, rather than if these new players will have an easier time playing the game. Please remember, these new players will still have to get over the barrier of learning over 170 champions that have 4 abilities and passive each, the items that are optimal on them, macro, micro, objectives, timers, each role. My main worry is if this is also Riot laying the foundation for cross-platform gameplay. Now, that is something I don't want to see. If we ever get into the territory of aim assist, it'd be a sad, sad day in League of Legends history.
All right, so we're gonna stop it right there. I know her name, it's just Kim. Well, I just learned about her, obviously, with this, but her information down below, she broke down the shit really good. So, like I said, Riot, once again, trying to simplify that. Other players are concerned, others are like, man, our whole game is built around this system. Now we're entering these WASD, but apparently future League is going to probably be built around that and make it easier for new players. But like she was saying, and like the other guy was saying, it's still based off your skill. You're still gonna go only as far as you train or you go in the lab. I mean, it's not gonna be all of a sudden you just walk in the game, press WASD, and you're fucking king dingling in the world. So I don't know, definitely interesting, man. Obviously, there's always other communities going through the same shit that we are. We're all gamers at the end of the day, but it's definitely interesting. I just thought it was weird. I was like, oh shit, they're kind of going through their own version of what we're going through on this side. People fighting for what they love. They're trying to keep the integrity of the game. But do you think it's as serious as what Alioune was pointing to, saying this could eventually ruin the whole genre altogether? How y'all feeling? Let me know. That is Butt Check fam. Definitely let me know how you're feeling. Thank you guys for the basic love. Today is Wednesday. It is that much closer to the weekend. That's all I can say about it. I was trying to think of something fun, but I think we got Father's Day. Is it Father's Day? It's coming up like this weekend or Sunday or something like that. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So either way, I know the FGC is full of some good daddies. You know what I'm talking about, daddy? Very sus. Anyway, what the hell I'm trying to say is, hope you have a good Father's Day whenever that shit comes up. I'm speaking too soon. I'm rambling right now because it is time to go. I actually got to spend time with my son as soon as I turn this off. So either way, thank you guys for stopping by. We will see you soon as always. I don't know what it is, but I know whether we have no motion inputs or motion inputs, it's about to get better. Hopefully. Love y'all, fella. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
You can!